Yep. It is about that time once again. Tuesday night live streams right here on the Emceemur show. And I couldn't be more excited because we're playing Arcus Odyssey, easily in my top 25 of all time, easily in my top 20 of all time, and easily in my top 10 games on this console. Playing on our Super Retro Trio in gorgeous 720p HD. You got 4 characters to pick from. I like them all. They're varied difficulties, I guess, depending on your style of playing this, but I prefer the archer chick. Laetes Power. Let's go. One of the greatest games, and so fantastic. Coming from Wolfteam, you know, renovation title, 1991. I mean, these guys were at the freaking top of their game at this point. The best soundtracks in gaming, hands down. Already joined by Lucky Collector. It's got light RPG elements, but, you know, I don't really consider it an RPG, but it could definitely be classified that way. You got an inventory you got to work, you got characters you got to pick, you got, you know, somewhat branching dialogue and outcome lines depending on what decisions you make throughout the game and your interactions with some of the NPCs. You know, so yeah, you could call it a role-playing game. But at its core, we have a very gauntlet-esque, almost isometric action game here. And you've never heard of this? Interesting. If you've never heard of this, that's exactly why we're playing it, because it's the coolest game you're not playing. Mega Dan 29 is in the house. Welcome, Dan. I'm so glad you're here. Each and every one of you that have not heard of or played this game, that's why we're doing this tonight. This is Arcus Odyssey Awareness Day. Because you're robbing yourself. If you haven't played this game, you got to find a way to play it. You know, it's not a cheap game, but we spend $60 on bad games all the time. And you could probably get a loose copy for not that much. Or just emulate it. I don't care how you do it, but play it. The Doll of Life. This is on the Sega Genesis, but there was also a Super Famicom version that was titled Arcus Spirits, which I want a copy of that too. Same game, but looks a little different. Different version. But yeah, it's so good. I mean, you've got so many neat items. You got these magical power crystals that do different things for each character. They all have their own separate spells that they cast with those things. So again, there's a lot of strategy that goes into, you know, the items and the characters' combat and what you do with those. We're having a Captain Retro raid. You got to be kidding me. Welcome, guys. If you're just joining us, Arcus Odyssey on the Sega Genesis. The Lamp of Life refills your life bar if you use it, so obviously that's a good thing to have a hold of. You find in the game that you're going to need to make sure you have room for Dolls of Life and Lamps of Life, and the other stuff is all just luxury if you happen to have room for it. This chick has a healing spell too, which is also something that makes her a little extra cool. A giant frog. Ah, I meant to get the dadgum medicine that was over there. I didn't think it was going to take me in the room that quick. I like getting a bank shot on this guy because her bullets ricochet. He'll get stuck over there and he'll be toast. Then you got the power-up gem. Blue for life, red for shot power. And at first, you kind of want some shot power. So that's what we're going to get. I have no problem keeping her alive, but you got to have your shots going. The GamerCube 64 show is in the house. It looks like we got Nostalgia here. Shadow the Oblivious. Anybody else that I've missed popped in? Welcome, guys. We are playing Arcus Odyssey tonight on the Super Retro Trio. This is a Sega Genesis game. Play it any way that you can play it, for God's sake. I've pretty much committed at this point after playing this again last night, and I play it all the time. It's one of my favorites. But I've got to get Arcus Spirits for the Super Famicom. I want to play that version. I mean, it would help to be able to read the game. But, you know, I could quote it like scripture at this point, so I don't mind playing a Japanese version of it just to go through the whole thing, see the variances and the graphics and the art styles. That just sounds like the best time ever to me. We have the prison key. That's what we needed. Go to the prison. We're going to free one of the first NPCs in the game, and there again comes the somewhat branching story path that you get in this game. Depending on which character you pick, it'll change, obviously, your combat style with that character, and then what happens to the other NPCs and your interactions with them throughout the rest of the game. It doesn't make humongous differences, but it makes differences, and it makes for a I mean, this game would be fun to play through multiple times anyway, just because it's fun. It's arcadey. Roaming Dan is here. Welcome, Roaming Dan. Magical power crystal. Potion of invincibility. So great. Oh my god. And the music. Talking about soundtracks, and that's something that's always been a strong suit of renovation games, of games that Wolfteam developed. But man, there is no better soundtrack to me than the one on this game. It blows my doors in every time I hear it. Alright, so here we go. I like this chick because she kind of has a homing missile thing going on with her shots. Yes, we'll take you with us. And then we talk to this cat who's about to die. Oh gosh, I'm no use anymore. I'm dead. I'm having what I want done. Wabba babba dooba doo. The key's at the end of the bridge. Yep, I know that. We're going to the end of the bridge. Going to the end of the bridge. We're going to the end of the bridge. But first we're gonna loot some other things on the map, because I don't give a crap. Gotta make sure that we have as much equipment going forward as we can, and it's probably overkill. And you know, as I go for speed runs on this game, I won't do things like that. But to ensure we do a full long play today, hopefully no deaths, no continues, nothing like that, we're gonna pick up as much extra stuff as we can pick up just to have it. Yeah, if you have never played this before, make it a point to do so somehow in some way. I'm going to try to keep up with the chat as much as I can, but this game does require a lot of your attention. You can take a lot of damage really quickly if you're not paying attention to what's going on the screen. You can get hung up on enemies. Bad things can happen. There's people that could probably argue this is not a perfect game, and there are some issues. But for me, I mean, even as rough around the edges as some things seem on Wolfteam and renovation games, usually just lost in translation stuff too, overall the experience is so much better than other games on the consoles. Either in the genre or even beyond. It's hard to find a better time to have. See, there's another lamp of life. We gotta have that. And I think that's everything that we need to loot from here. Yeah, eat it. Now, we do an hour show here on Tuesday night live streams. We may run a little over tonight. We may not, because I took this out right at an hour last night with no problems whatsoever. And then I did it again with a different character just because I wanted to. That's a medicine of regeneration. You can't take those with you. Let's do it. Blow that thing up. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we don't need to waste that. Let's go ahead and put on our magical fire ring. Badusha Scrooge! And just like that, we're surfing on a turtle and we're out. Yeah, this game is awesome, SNES. One of my favorites of all time. Definitely in my top 10 on the console. God, I used to get so freaking berserk ripped playing this game. Loving the freaking music. grew up with it. I mean, this game came out in '91, and I can't remember a time when it wasn't in my life. The Sword of the Hero. No, not to use, but to gain access to the doors in this complex labyrinth full of demons and monsters is going to drive us crazy. God, this is one of the longest levels in the game, and it's only the third one. But yes, this level is very cool, and the music is really cool. It's almost like if you listen real hard, you can hear almost like what would seem like a digital guitar solo going off in the background. And it always reminded me of solos that Chuck Schuldiner of Death would do. It really sounds like his style. It's like, did Death make the music to this game? I guess we'll take it if we have room for it, but we're just going to end up having to dump it later for more Lamps of Life. This is such a confusing level. I find myself checking every level for chests, because every time it's like you almost forget either that there's stuff there or that there's not. And one thing's for daggone sure. Your thumb's tired when this game's over. Because it's got some shmuppish qualities to it. At a certain point, it feels like you're going in one direction and you're just shooting people like crazy. The fighter with the sword and the chick with the whip are a lot more difficult to play the game with, although their attacks do a lot of damage though. So if you get to where you know the game as well as I do, it can seem easy with any of the characters once you really figure out where everything is. But the game never does get easy. There's always a level of challenge to it. See, now here's one of the other NPCs. We could have picked him. And he's not bad. He has a throwing axe, but it doesn't home in on people, so. This is a loot room right here. Lamp of Life. And we can't carry more items. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the... let's get this herb out. I mean, the herbs will cure you if you get poisoned, but even if you do, this chick can heal herself with her magic. Let's go ahead and get this potion of invincibility out. No, we definitely don't want another one of those. Anti-poison herb of wizardry. We want as many magical power crystals as we can get. Okay, we're full on power crystals. Magic of elemental summoning. And we need those dolls of life. So unfortunately, we're going to have to use the invincibility potion to take the doll of life. Big Whoop will be invincible for a little while. That's the worst thing that's going to happen to us. Masem Eldor is in the house. Elmdor. Never seen that game before. And yes, please click the like button. And it is my understanding that DGC might be in the house. Welcome, DGC. Always glad to see you in the house. DGC recently reviewed Ys 8. And there's a lot of reviews of Ys 8 out there. But don't watch those. Watch his, because he really cuts to the core of it and has, to me, the best explanation of what goes on in that game of anybody I've seen. I know more about it now than way more about it than I did before. And now I'm not so interested in putting off the purchase any longer. I really would like to have that on the shelf. So check that out for sure, and subscribe to DGC if you have not already done so. And also, subscribe to the Emceemur show if you've not already done so. Although I think most of you here right now have. So glad to have you as part of Mer Nation, and glad to have you tonight on Tuesday night live streams as we play through a long play of Arcus Odyssey on the Sega Genesis. There's another one of them crazy swords, the Sword of Ambition. All these open other doors like they're keys. This is a crazy level. And it's a labyrinth from hell. And frickin' 20-something years later, I still end up getting semi-lost in this thing. And I try not to, but... yeah, see, that didn't go anywhere. Yeah, this chick makes it happen right here. This might be where we came in. I think it is. Yeah, we don't want to go in there. Try to take every aspect of this dungeon out nice and systematically. We can't hold another lamp of life right now, but it's nice to know that it's there. If we need one later, we'll come back for it. We'll use one and come back for it. But there's multiple medicines of regeneration. And we just wasted one on this level. And we've got a shot power up. And we got the NPC I prefer to roll with in the opening stages of the game, so we should be fine. You don't want to get hit with those little doolollies, you'll get poisoned. Alright, that's the exit. Now, how does this get so confusing? I did this twice recently, last night. Supposed to go to the top corner. I went to the bottom corner instead. That was stupid. See, if I'm going to do a speed run, I got to get on my game on this thing. It always throws you for a loop. It's like, oh no, that wasn't there. It's that way. You'll always remember eventually, but... Oh, I took a hit. I took 2 hits. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Sword of Darkness. Demons. This could be the end for you. You must come with us. Now they're going to lock us in a pen with a monster, and they're going to take Furea away from us for a while. See ya. Alright, let's go handle business. We got a power crystal on deck. The thing about the power crystals, if you use more than one of them, you'll cast very powerful offensive spells. But they're different for every character, again. And her spell that she casts with just one is a healing spell. And I find that's most effective, just to stay healed throughout the game and shoot everybody to death. But the strategy does end up being different and requiring much more of you in a difficulty sense, depending on which characters you pick. And it's a pretty full and rich playthrough experience no matter what you decide, but all combat styles of the characters are very different. They're not all shmuppers like this chick. So it creates a very different experience for you. And again, replay value through the roof, even if that wasn't there, but since it is, there totally is. So... quit throwing axes at me, you piece of crap. The Sword of the Fighter. I got the Sword of the Fighter! Yeah, 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 yeah. Get off my butt. Tachanka. Alright. Sword goes in there. This door opens. And now we come out that way. And there's one more sword we gotta get. We don't need no anti-poison herb of wizardry. We ain't gonna get poisoned. We got it going. Herb of purification. Don't need it. Medicine of regeneration is not an item that you take. It's just one that gets instantly used. So you want to make sure you remember where those are and don't get them when you're full or you waste them. And yes, this is very gauntlet-esque. That's a good comparison to make. It's an isometric gauntlet. It really feels like that at points. But of course with the story in tow. It's got a great story, and I kind of buzzed through some of it quickly here because we want to do this game in an hour, but oh, it's cool, man, for what it is. Very, very cool. Alright, now we can proceed to the final door. You piece of... I'm gonna refrain from profanity in this one. It's gonna be smooth sailing. We're just gonna get on through. Castamira has tremendous power. They're sacrificing this dude. Go ahead and queue up another crystal. Queue up another crystal. Gotta fight and gotta heal, gotta fight, gotta heal. Ah, turd. We're gonna go ahead and get the power up gem for life. Blue is life, red is power. And you have the choice every time you get one of these. And that's a path in itself that also branches. You have to decide if you want more life or more power. Now, eventually you'll pretty much max out both. Pretty much. There's probably one at the tail end that doesn't get maxed out, depending on what choices you make. But you got to decide what's important. And what kind of build, you know, maybe giving it more credit than it should be as a build, but a build for the type of player that you select. So we got to put out all these flames, and we'll do it. We have to get the flame charm. Oh, I've already been hit. Wonderful. Then we can bust open these dams. Medicine of regeneration. Nah. These friggin' big ding-dong dragons come jumping out at you. And if you touch the ground where they are, but you can't see them, like they haven't come out yet. Like right there, right there. There's one right there, and he's hitting me. You. It's okay to have a magical crystal in the chamber, but you don't want to waste it. You want to be able to pull out other items too to use if you have them. And you definitely want to use those before you use your lamps of life. Because you're going to find a lot more magical power crystals in the game than lamps of life. Although both, as far as the magic healing spell that you cast with the crystal and the effect of the lamp, is exactly the same. Alright, poop is going to get real in here. So we will actually load one up. It's important not to get boxed in, because now I'm boxed in. That was not the desire. I'm going to end up using all my crystals. That's okay. We'll get more. Watergate charm. Yeah, if you're watching this, make sure you drop a like on the video. Helps us get what little promotion YouTube's actually going to give us. And again, we really want people to know about this game. I know so many people that I talk to about this game, and they've never heard of it. And I'm not coming at you like that, like, really? You've never heard of it? No, not like that. I'm just saying, really? You haven't heard of it? You got to go get this thing. You can't live another day without a copy. You shouldn't live another day without a copy. Get off of me, you moth-eating piece of... Magical power crystal, and that's why we get them. Not going to use one just yet, though. I don't want to get desperate and use all our resources. Or maybe we do. It's freaking dragons, man. Can't even... There's a little bit of a hint of a shadow, and you get going too fast, you're not going to see where they are, and then you're going to touch it, and it's going to hurt you. Alright, let's start getting this water moving. So you blow up these little dams and the water gets to moving. We want to get it to move all the way back to the beginning so it'll fall down and extinguish the flame over the exit. Well, this is still good, because now we can just use a lamp and get another one. So we kind of get a freebie. And yeah, like you just said, LC, if it says renovation on it, you buy it. You don't even ask questions, because, I mean, there really wasn't much by them I didn't dig. Ernest Evans probably be my least favorite. That was kind of a... not for me. But everything else, man. Everything else, I'll take it. Herb of Purification. Don't need it. Dadgummit, quit stepping on the fire. Don't really need a magical fire ring, although they're very effective for in close combat. If you know you're going to really be scrapping with somebody, it's nice to have one. It's fun on multiple playthroughs to try out all the different weapons on this game, just to see which ones are your favorites. There we go. I was about to say. I believe that's the one we were missing. Yeah, we definitely didn't want to leave any crystals behind. You! And then we're going to go burn one up for coming down here. And we're going to get one loaded up just in case. Ah, taking all kinds of hits. Her shot is so weak. We're about to do something about that too. Power it up. CM Retro is in the house, huh? Welcome, CM. I destroyed the power of laity with my own hands. I'm having what I want done. We're going to fight him later. But that's it for that level. Moving right along. Making good time. Magical fire ring. pass. A Dark Lord spilling his guts there. And away we go. We're gonna go ahead and pick here. Here again, you got to pick between NPCs. Kiami has more of a spread shot. Vortex just has like a solid laser. Although I think from character design, I really like Vortex better because he's a scorpion. And well, that's pretty cool. Dude, turn around and shoot the guy. Now we gotta blow up the magic mirrors to break the seal and pass this one. Pass this level. Here we go. First we step into this dungeon. We blow up this power crystal. And now the mirrors will be breakable. So the NPCs are kind of dumb in this. They don't really face the way you want them to a lot of times, and that can be a pain in the bahonkus. But with the spread shot, Kiami does more damage pound for pound. And spread shot is definitely your friend. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Get us a free lamp of life usage and just grab another one. I can too carry items. Thank you. Alright, here we go. Free refill. Just like at the movies. Another mirror. And there's some down here too. We better get this part cleared out. I love how you get isometric, but it's got the background moving separately of the foreground. It just gives such a really cool effect. And the higher up we go, just like the map kind of illustrates, the background always reflects that. And it has really, really pretty backgrounds on this game. Now we do want a doll of life, and we want it more than we want the lamps, because the dolls of life are actually like one-ups, and you don't have to use them. They automatically use when you die. So for the final boss fight, because some of the magic in the boss room is restricted, you want to have those because you're gonna get killed. Kiami, if you could face the right way, man, that would really just be awesome. Jesus. What a freaking turd sniffer. But they put the medicine of regeneration right behind you, so boom, we're right back at full pop. I know I'm making this look easy. If you don't know where everything is and you haven't played this a billion times, it's really not. And it gets harder depending on what characters you pick, like we talked about. And you're going to want to play through them with the different characters just for the dynamic shifts. It's really fun. I beat it with 2 different characters last night, and I think I should beat it with the other 2 characters for old time's sake. Maybe later on this evening. I don't know. Magical power crystal. How are we doing on those? Just one? Yeah, we had to use one. Dadgummit, boy. Another one. Alright, we're in decent shape here. I think that's it for mirrors on this section of the map. And we came this way already. Again, this game is such a dadgum labyrinth at times. And you can get turned around in it. You can forget where you've been. Potion of invincibility. Let's step down here and get hit. I think there's power crystals here, and we don't want to leave those on the table if we don't have to. Because that's good for healing, and it prevents us from having to use items we don't want to use. But I'm paying for it with my anus over here, because I'm getting blasted. Yeah, we got that. When the chests close if you don't take what's in them, and that gets kind of annoying because then you're like, you can't remember that you already looked in there, but that's okay. Minor complaint. Oh, Lord Almighty in heaven, alright. Find us a sweet spot, place to stand there. This monster has 2 forms, but we're going to be okay. Genoban. Fool. I heard that you're not having what you want done. Is that true? Now he'll turn into his demon form. Oh my god, you could build monuments to the stupidity of these NPCs. Power up. Powering up shots again. We're only missing 1 sliver on the life bar, so right now, yeah, to have that spread shot, that's king in this game. We gotta have that. Her power, even though it looks like, wow, she's shooting all these freaking shots, she's really not. Because the power of those is so minute compared to some of the other characters' attacks. So here Kiyomi does the unthinkable. He's like, look, just go on. We don't have time for this. And he sacrifices himself. Oh, drop dead. He actually says that he drops dead. A lot of lost in translation stuff. That's common on these really heavy-duty Japanese games that got released over here. It's funny. Once you're dead and you've dropped dead, you can't really yell out, drop dead. Oh, so maybe he's still alive. Maybe that's a plot twist. There was never a sequel, so who would know? Dark minions. We're going up a very scary tower here. That didn't hit me! You turd burglar. You burgle turds. Alright. Now, again, keep an eye on the background because we're getting higher and higher on this tower. These spiders can poison you. They can also ensnare you in the webs. And you do not want that to happen. Oh my god, get off of me! They don't usually come at you that fast. There we go. these are the dadgum monsters in the ground that come out at you. And she takes forever in the day to eliminate them, too. God, my reflexes stink. We're not done. There's another one hidden in here. And I'll probably trigger him by running into him. There we go. Thanks so much for stopping by, dude. Everybody that's here tonight, we can appreciate you more being a part of Mer Nation as we rise up to take on Arcus frickin' Odyssey. Oh my god, we gotta take on Fiorea. She's been possessed by demons. I could not do a single thing as a woman I would do. I couldn't love anybody. Nobody could love me. All I knew was fighting every day of my life. I'll be born again. I wonder sometimes if laity hears my prayers. Of course she does. You get auto-healed as long as you say that. If you say no, well then poop on a bun. Who would say no? But hey, these are the alternate little playthroughs you want to do just for fun, right? Alright, so the only thing we're going to have on deck here is a Lamp of Life, because we are all out of magical power crystals. I'm better than you. You're dead. Oh, and we actually got a notch for the saying the prayer with her, so that's awesome. Now we've got full power on our shots. Should be good to go. Couple more challenges left, but not much. We're in good shape. Nightmare Castle. Like dumping your change in the change machine, it sounds like. Magical power crystal. We need as many of those as we can get for the last level. Dadgummit. Loading up. This is one where there's also seals we have to break, and they fake you out because these are clones of bosses you've already fought, and you can't kill them. You have to destroy the seal behind them, which destroys the clone. But they're playing defense. They're blocking. They don't want you to get up in there. Alright, so we just got poisoned. And that's not good. And we're going to have to wait a minute for it to wear off. Bad looks on me. I shouldn't have that happen. But, you know, if you're a newcomer to this game, relax, because it's going to happen. You're going to get hit. The enemies don't all have set patterns necessarily. It's just... it'll start feeling like a shooter at certain points. The Herb of Purification. Yeah, I'll take it, because we could have used that a minute ago and not wasted something. Medicine of Regeneration. That's where the final boss is. We don't need to go down there yet, because we need to unlock 2 other seals before it will manifest itself. Go ahead and take an herb of purification. Magic of elemental summoning. Not really interested in that. Let's go. Again, as much as I want to catch up on the chat, and I'm trying to keep an eye on you guys, but we gotta go kill the seal first. I really gotta pay attention to this thing. Because even a veteran of the game like me can get caught slipping. A lone tornado is still coming after me. Now, you notice I skipped those chests. It's because I didn't know which one is the medicine of regeneration, and those are insta-use, and you don't want to waste them. Lamp of life. Well, we need it, so... we'll take it. Medicine of regeneration, that'll top us off. Oh, and a doll of life, but we have to have the doll of life. So we're going to waste that lamp in order to have another doll of life. That's 4 up we're on this thing now. So we are looking pretty good as far as that goes. If I die 4 times, I suck. We have received a mega generous donation from the one and only Captain that makes it happen, Captain Frickin' Retro. Thank you so much, Captain. Your continual support and recognition of what the Emceemur show brings to the table in the retro gaming world is amazing. Appreciated. And many other fantastic verbs and or adjectives I could throw at it. You're the best. Thank you, and thank everyone for continuing to be the best part of the Emceemur show. That was the last seal. We're going back to face the boss. Donations to the Emceemur show help make amazing things happen, like our recent acquisition of new software to bring only the creme de la creme, the finest of editing, to all new episodes of current and upcoming series right here on the show. And I, at this point, could not be any more excited about what's already going on and what's coming soon on the Emceemur show and bringing it to you. Big things happening, all in the retro sense. I couldn't be happier about it. You know, and flashing back to the Southern Fried Gaming Expo, and of course I was there with Captain and the Gen X crew, and we just had an absolute blast. And you almost, with all the new games coming out, you forget how out of touch you get, because you don't even think you are with retro games. But we get so caught up playing all these new games and trying to beat them all in record time and get finished so you can get done with it before other things come out, and you're like, man, I just want to go back and play some 8 and 16-bit, yo. You forget, it's like, dadgum, it's been a minute. So I'm playing this on the Super Retro Trio, beautiful HD, and it's inspired me to clean up some old physical copies and get off the EverDrive for a minute and actually play my games, make use of this immense collection I've got behind me here, and just really enjoy the color and the crispness of the screen. You too can acquire one of these machines. CastleManiaGames.com will be glad to sell you one, possibly at a discount. Lots of good sales going on there all the time, and fantastic stuff to further entice you to spend all your money. But I am so happy with this investment. Just on a side note, this machine has just been amazing. It's gotten me on a retro kick, like I'm not always on one anyway, but yeah, seeing it in brilliant HD is the same as, like, you know, putting in the SNES Classic or the NES Classic for the first time and seeing how pretty those looked on the big screen. And yeah, it's like, you know, you're playing games you beat a million times, but you're enjoying them again in a whole new way. So And don't get me wrong, there's something to be said for an old CRTV and some lines on the screen, old school filters and whatnot. And we always will get nostalgic and want to see that stuff, but it is great to see. It's so crispy. I've noticed details on the characters in this game that in 20 years I've never noticed, because, you know, you've never had a good enough resolution to really see it. And that to me is just insane. LC says they're 90 with the Joe and Mac game. Now, that's even less than I paid, so yeah, get in on that deal, because there was only so many of them made. Totally worth it for that. I gave 100 for mine, and I'd do it again. And a lot of people play the Retrons and stuff, and I've had those, and I've not had a lot of luck with them, but so far, knock on wood, this thing has just been dynamic, and we're going to keep on enjoying it. This is great because we're going to use a Lamp of Life, and then we're going to get a Lamp of Life. Thank you. So we're locked and loaded. Got a lamp, 4 lives. We can't use power crystals on Castamira. She will not allow it. But that's okay. I don't think we're going to need it. So you finally came here, and you were even able to defeat Slythe. That's incredible. I'd like you to work for me. What did you say? You hate me? You want to banish me to eternal darkness? Yes. You're foolish. Da-da-da-da-do. You should think about it. Your power's so weak and came all the way here. Born after destruction and more be. You can entrust this world to me. She's trying to make a deal with you. No. Don't say yes. That's a trap. Now, Castamira is a very powerful sorceress. She has multiple forms. See, I can't use my crystals. And, you know, work your bank shots as much as you can. Go ahead and use that Lamp of Life. Her dragon form has been diminished. Cool as Robert Payne's here. Welcome, Cool as, and welcome, Sailor D. You're in time for some real Sega action. This is when it's going to get real, though. This thing. And you got some little barriers here, almost like you're in a giant pinball machine. It's down to the dolls of life now, so if we drop, we're just going to come right back like a 1-up. Get in there and get all my shots on him. He's not getting nothing on me right there. Found a sweet spot. Ball game. That's ball game. You're nothing but a pest to me to rise against me, ruler. Remember that one day you'll regret this? No, but the great sorceress Laity is here. She's going to handle it. She's going to bind her and banish her to that cold, dark place. No! Controllers down. Official time. 54 minutes. Not bad. And that's it. That's start to finish. That's ball game. Arcus Odyssey. Now, it's couch co-op too. Get a friend. Play 2-player. 2-player isn't you and then someone else. It's tag team. And the enemies don't actually pile up. But you do have to share the items. So there's that. But as you can see, there was an abundance of them. You know, once you get good, you won't end up using all of them if you're really killer at it. So, and you know, you can have some great fun doing combinations of certain characters with other characters, and then you both get to pick NPCs when it's time to pick NPCs at those certain points of the game, which also adds to the strategy, the dynamic, and how different the game will feel each and every time you play it. I can't say enough good things about renovation games in general, but this is my favorite, and it's hard to say that because I love Valis and I love Final Zone and holy freaking crap, but this, woo, is so great. Oh, that was a nice kicking. I took her downtown. And again, it's not as easy as I made it look. Now, I've played this game for many years, but it's not one of the more difficult games out there. You can beat it. The best part is just all the different ways you can play it through and how different the characters are. And no disrespect to Gauntlet, a game I love very much. But, you know, every one of those games shoots its own respective thing. Again, that's what my character was doing, but the wizard shoots a different kind of shot. The warrior swings a sword and a very narrow beam of energy comes out of it. The girl's got this whip with a flail on the end of it with a ball that she swings. So she's got like a circumference attack going on. So it's very different depending on who you pick. I love this. This is just so great. I love the anime art style. All the renovation games had it. The artwork was just brilliant. And on this system here, God, the HD is so pretty. The colors are so bright. Again, I'm seeing details I almost didn't even know were there. Some I definitely didn't know were there. And the soundtrack, again, to this and other renovation games, they're right here, man. They're in my heart. And to hear them brings a flood of nostalgia like none other. I mean, I have such a special place in my heart for these games. These games were my early 90s. Yes, there were others, obviously. Plenty of Nintendo stuff too. But I was a Sega household first, and these were the games, man. 1991 Wolfteam. Thank you, Wolfteam, for everything you did here. If you did nothing else, you did this, although you did plenty. Woo! Hey, if you're still watching and you haven't already done so, I'm going to urge you to drop a like on this video. Just a way to get promoted when we live in a world where YouTube's not going to promote us. Don't do it for my sake, though. Do it because people need to know about this game. If people didn't know about this game, you know about it now. Emulate it. Buy it. Find a way to play it. Doesn't matter what you spend on it. You're going to be so glad to add this to your collection. To add a way to be able to play this game into your household. It's got to happen. We still got 2 minutes, so we'll have a little Q&A if anybody wants to. We don't usually finish early, but yeah, kicking that butt. Kicking some butt on some Arcus Odyssey. And again, we talked about other games. If you're not already a renovation fan in general, forget just this game. Make sure you play Valis. Make sure that you play Final Zone. Great frickin' games with great frickin' gameplay and great frickin' soundtracks. I mean, the first time I ever needed a Turbo Duo was because of renovation games. We'd go rent those from the House of Video Games in Stone Mountain. And we would play East Book 1 and 2. But we would also play Valis 2 and Final Zone 2. There was sequels to those renovation franchises that were only on that system and still only are. So, and that's still bizarre to me to this day. But yeah, that's how much we thought of it. We had to frickin' play those frickin' games. Had to be done. And then you've got other iterations of some of those that made it over to the other consoles. Like, again, there was Arcus Spirits on the Super Famicom. I'm looking forward to getting a copy of that and playing a different version of this. Even not being able to read it, we still know what everything is and what it does. Looks a little different, but same game. Valis 4 actually was on the Super Nintendo. It wasn't a Genesis game. And a great game in the series it was, too. So, yeah, renovation game. And it was actually Atlas, I believe. I don't think Renovation actually ended up making that. But regardless of how that worked out, these guys gave birth to these franchises, these great stories that contain this great artwork and this music that has stayed with me through time. And I hope that you can acquire some of this even today in 2018. Enjoy it. And that it stays with you too. Fantastic. If you're watching the recap, make sure you comment. Let me know what you think about this game. And if you haven't already done so, I hope that you're going to subscribe to the Emceemur Show if you like seeing retro game live streams, something we do a lot of right here. That is all the time we have for this TNL. Thank you everybody that came out, that liked, that subscribed, that commented, that hung out, that partied in the chat with us. It was a pleasure to beat this game for you, and we will see more action next Tuesday night. I know you'll be coming right back. Emceemur checking out for this round, and we'll see each and every one of you again next time.